Hi, I'm Eden, and today we are going to work on Virasana, hero's pose. It's a super deep knee and thigh opener. If you're not warm, I suggest doing some sun salutations, maybe 5, maybe 10, and maybe some high lunges to get yourself good and ready. But here's the gist. You might need a blanket, you might need some blocks or something that emulates them, like a box or books to stick under your hips. Here's how we go. Okay, so from here, you are going to sit between your heels, which means you might be here. So the heel is still outside your hips and not directly underneath it. So if I were to sit down, it wouldn't be a little cushion from my bum, but instead, it's outside so that I can actually place my bum all the way down on the ground. That might not be within reach today. Don't worry about that. You may grab some blocks or your props. You may also roll a blanket, make it nice and cushy, and have a seat here, okay? So as long as you're feeling that stretch in your knees, if you're feeling pain in your knees, get higher. If you're not feeling any stretch in your knees, get lower. And just do it in small increments so that you're being thoughtful and caring for your body. Okay, there's a reason it's called hero's pose, right? So my toes are flat into the mat, and my toes are directly behind my heels, so they're not sickled in or out. So just adjust those feet. Your hands are right there. You can use them. And then my knees point straight ahead. So you want to make sure that from the center of your hips to the center of your knees, it's 2 parallel lines. So you don't want to be here, in other words. That could be mighty comfy. Not very yogi, right? Draw it in. I'm still between my heels, not on them. Knees point straight ahead. And you can just hang out right here and breathe. Make sure that you have a nice long spine, that you're lifted all the way up through the crown of your head and not collapsed into the hips. Okay, now breathe here. Or if you're propped up, blocks, blanket here, you might place your hands behind you so your fingertips point towards your heels, and you can lift your heart a little bit into this little gentle back bend, okay? Now, if your butt happens to be on the ground, no props under it, no blanket, no blocks, then and only then, you might try Supta Virasana, which is the reclined hero pose. Supta just means reclined. Supine. And from here, take several breaths. And make sure that you're challenging this stretch, but certainly not causing injury. So we're just noticing the difference between pain and challenge. Begin to make your way back up if you're reclined. Place your hands in front of you and come forward. Weight towards your hands. Curl your toes under and lift up and back to down dog. Take your time getting there. So we just did that for a few breaths. And you can feel, as you come into down dog, that big old switch. A couple more breaths right here. Now, I encourage you to lengthen that out, to make it more like 10 breaths, and then 20, and then maybe even begin to time yourself to see if you might be able to get all the way up to 5 minutes of sitting in that space. Come on down to your knees. And have a seat. Thank you for taking some time for yourself to open up a little bit more and connect. I'm grateful for you. See you next time. Namaste.